Hi, I'm finally here with the video that I was talking about in the previous one, and it goes like this. About 2 months ago, my mother had the biggest surgery of her life. She has been working abroad for a couple decades now, and she's the type of person that would rarely, if ever, complain about something, especially when it came to hurting or having some kind of pain or having a headache. Or I don't think I've ever heard her saying, "Oh, I have a headache," unless it was something very, very serious. And please understand that I'm not making this video to gain any kind of sympathy or anything of that sort. This is rather acknowledging my mom and thanking her for all she's done for me and for the rest of the family. That being said, her cancer seems to be totally gone. And I couldn't be happier. I literally couldn't be happier. I'm gonna have to tell you this about this woman, this mother of mine. Not even 2 weeks after her surgery, when her official results were far from being ready, she went back to work because she felt okay. And I have no idea how she does that. I have no clue how she has the strength to do that. So a couple of weeks ago, while talking to my mom, we've made a few little plans to meet up with our family. And we usually do that by synchronizing our vacation days and whenever it's possible, so we all can meet. And I was gonna drive my car for a 3,500-mile trip, which is one of my pleasures, driving. And I had one major concern, and that was regarding if my car was gonna be able to handle this trip, since it's a high mileage car, and the fact that it has a manual transmission for such a long trip does not make it more comfortable. But that's my personal opinion, and it's not that I don't like manual transmissions by any means. So I expressed my concern to my mom, and then she came up with the question, how much would a decent car be? As in, how much it will cost? To which I replied that very likely for a few thousand I could probably find something desirable and decent. And I did. That's not the main point. She sent me the money for it. That's the main point. And I have no idea how she does what she does. It seems like she has some kind of superpower that nobody understands. Have I mentioned that this woman had advanced ovarian cancer not even 2 months ago? Yeah, that's my mother. That's my mother. I could never come up with words showing my gratitude towards this woman for everything that she's done. Not just this. This is one of the many, many things. But I don't know. I have no idea how she does it. I really hope that she's not going to see this video shortly after I release it, because what I'm about to share with you guys. I found this little 120 diesel BMW for what I thought to be a very good price, and I've always been a little bit of a secret fan of this car because of its size and its unique shape and even practicality, since it has 4 doors and the rear seats fold down. I can pretty much carry more stuff than I can with my old car that is a full-size sedan. And the cherry on top of the cake is that it's an automatic, which is a feature that I was really after. Now, I'm not by any means some kind of car expert, even though I had my fair share of dealing with more than a few decent cars. Now, would that make me a connoisseur? I don't think so. Yeah, so this is where the trip will start. We're gonna go to London first, and then we'll see how things work from there. And I'm gonna have a long walk. I chose this way, I don't know why, because I didn't have a walk for a long time. And I literally see this spot here. This is pedestrians only, and it's so cool. And I never knew that this thing was next to my house. It's incredible. Anyways, so we're going to, well, to inspect and maybe hopefully purchase the BMW 120 diesel, which we'll see. Okay, well, you probably see it in the thumbnail, but yeah, I'll come back with little updates. Well, I don't exactly know where. Yeah, anyways, I'll do some filming in London as well, because I'm gonna have a little bit of time once I get there. But yeah, if the rain starts, then I'm just gonna take a bus to the train station. Initially, I thought I will drive to London with my friend, pick up the car, and he will help me drive back. But he had some stuff to do, so yeah. So I hop on the train, and in about 4 hours I'm in London. And then in less than an hour I meet with the young couple who was selling the car. Nice people, I think to myself. So I visually inspect the car and take mental notes of a few little things here and there that had to be mentioned. I start the engine, check all the electrics. Everything was working fine, well, except the rear wiper and a license plate light that I thought it's not very expensive to fix later on. Then opened the bonnet, or the hood for the American me. The engine was running smoothly. It made a normal diesel engine noise. There was nothing funny, no funny sounds, anything worrying, no leaks whatsoever, and the whole engine bay was a bit dusty. Dusty as in it wasn't cleaned before they come to show me the car. So I think to myself, this is only something positive, because they didn't want to try and just clean it so they can get a better price or to make a sale. Then I was given what I thought to be a fairly genuine reason for selling this car, and we go on for a test drive. So I asked them if it's okay with them to go on the motorway, highway, and they had no problem with that. They said, sure, just keep in mind that it's really busy at this time, but surely we can find somewhere where you can speed up to whatever you like. So when I've seen that they were not reluctant on going on the motorway, I said, that's fine, let's go to just a local highway where I can drive a bit faster than I would normally do in the city. And that would satisfy my test drive. We went and drove it quite a bit. There was no rattling or anything funny, any noises, anything like that. And I really liked how the car drives. And I thought to myself, it needs a good service, quite a bit of love, and for the right price, with this age, mileage, and condition, I would go for it. So we shook hands, and I tried to transfer the money to his bank account, which was an account from a different major UK bank. And I tried transferring it, as I always did before, through my mobile banking that I've never had any issue with. This time I get a message saying that the transfer cannot be completed. So I try again, the same thing. So we decided to try with his wife's account, which was at the same bank as his, and we try and it doesn't work. So I called the bank, and it's a long story. I'm gonna skip these details, but the point is that the transfer could not be made that evening because apparently after 6 o'clock there's no more transfers. For some reason, it's a update in terms and condition with my bank. But regardless, I stay overnight. I meet with the young lady in the morning. Money went through, and she gives me the keys and everything else that was needed. I insured the car, I paid the road tax, and I think that was it. So I go visit a friend for a coffee, and then I hit the road towards home. I fill up the tank and everything seems very nice. I got a big grin on my face, and I am just very happy. I was a little bit upset because I had to spend the night in London and waste another day basically, but at the end of the day I was very happy with the purchase. So as I was driving, there was rain and sunshine and wind, and then it was nice again. Now, just to be clear, I was driving from London to Liverpool. About maybe halfway, I thought the engine became a little bit louder. So I pull over, I check everything, and everything seems to be fine. And indeed, the engine, I thought that it was a little bit louder. But I didn't make much out of it, and not being serviced could be one of the possible reasons why the engine would become a little louder maybe. Therefore I go on. I get home, I run some errands, and everything seems fine. Next morning I drop my old car for an MOT, which is an annual inspection that the UK government requires for all vehicles, for my non-UK viewers. And I figured that no one would want to buy a car without this MOT for obvious reasons. So once I get back home, I take my new car and I go pick up my friend from the hospital, and again everything seems fine. Later on that evening, me and a lady friend, we decide to go get some groceries, and lo and behold, we drive off. I don't even make it all the way to the main street, which is less than 200 meters away, and the car stalls with showing that battery advisory sign, you know, the red battery sign that comes up. I was wondering what's going on. So I start the car and again, we drive off. And now at the first red light, the car stalls again, but this time I can see white smoke coming out from under the bonnet. This scared me quite a bit, and it was quite concerning because not only the smoke, but the noises that the engine was making, the knocking and smoke and everything, it was quite terrifying. So I put the hazards on, opened the bonnet, and I smelled rubber, like rubber. So immediately I thought that must be some kind of belt, but I don't want to get technical about it in this one. I'm gonna, if you want, I can explain in a different video what the symptoms were. At this point we were thinking, let's hope it starts again and we can drive it back home. So I figured that the aircon was on, I stopped the air conditioning and the car started back on. The air conditioning was putting more stress on the engine. It did start without aircon and we made it home, but as soon as I got in front of the house, the car stalled again, and again the battery sign, and again hugely weird noises, and man oh man. In short, I am very much afraid that the engine might have to be replaced. Now, from the infinite wisdom of this community, please, someone give me a suggestion. How can I tell this news to this woman? How? How can I do it without breaking her heart? How can I tell something like this to a mother that had one desire, one goal? To see her son more often and happier by offering this gift. How can I not break her heart? How can I tell this to her? And what is it that somebody in this particular situation would come out with the best outcome? My ignorance and stubborn nature strike again and hurts this wonderful person because of my ego-driven decisions. Please understand that I'm not moaning or whining here for no good reason. I like to think of myself as a very resourceful person that always come up with a solution to most problems, and most of the times the solutions that I come up with are fairly decent. But in this scenario I have literally no idea what to do. Now, clearly, selling my old car was going to pay for the servicing of the new one and for part of the trip that we were gonna make. Also to buy a few little things for my family back in Europe. But clearly, at this point, I'm stranded And all I can do is to call upon this wonderful community in hopes of getting the appropriate advice. Please help me. Tell me, what would you do? If anyone at all think that they can support this situation, I'm gonna put a link below that it's gonna make it very easy to do so. Now, by saying this, a memory comes to my mind and a very uncomfortable, cringy and weird feeling that comes back from a time when I was going around with some Christian missionaries collecting donations and different things for families that were in need. And I always felt uncomfortable by asking for help, when lots of times I would be the one trying to help. And never in my life I thought I'm gonna get back to do this in one way or another. But apparently life is like a coin with two faces. You cannot get only one face of a coin. You have to have both. I'm in need of your help at this point. Please tell me, what would you do? I'm grateful for you watching this video and subscribing. I'm grateful even if you don't. But if you do, it does help a lot. Another thing I want to mention, it's another thank you. Somebody who has heard my story offered to take my car on a platform, on a tow truck, to a garage, to a shop to be fixed. But since I don't know how much the repairs would cost, I'm not exactly sure what to do. And I really do appreciate this help, and I'm very grateful. It means a lot. I know it can be very expensive to just transport the car. Therefore, I'm very grateful for your help. So thank you again. That's the story. So this would conclude this video, and I'm really hoping that you guys understand the essence of this message, of this video, and of this whole scenario and story. And if you have any questions, please feel free. I'm gonna do my best to answer everyone. And the next video is going to be quite short. It's about another thing that broke, and I'm gonna ask for your advice. Also coming up is another video where I'm gonna try and explain a little bit about what content and what value that you're gonna gain by subscribing and viewing my videos. Okay then, again, thank you very much. Much love, and you'll see me next time.